You are doing everything right. You show up early, you stay late, you hit your targets, and you even take on those extra projects nobody else wants. You're talented, you're dedicated. So why are you still in the same chair you were in 2 years ago? Why are you watching colleagues, some you know aren't as qualified as you, climb the ladder and get promotions you deserve? What if I told you the single biggest thing holding you back isn't your talent, your work ethic, or even frustrating office politics? What if it's a hidden barrier inside your own mind? Something you have complete power to change starting today. Feeling stuck in your career is one of the most maddening experiences a professional can have. It's a quiet, creeping kind of anxiety. It's that pit in your stomach on a Sunday night, the sting you feel scrolling through LinkedIn and seeing celebratory posts from your peers. It's that little voice in your head getting louder and louder, whispering, "What am I doing wrong?" This feeling is more than just frustrating. It's corrosive. It chips away at your confidence. You start to second guess your decisions. You hold back in meetings because you're questioning if your ideas are even good enough anymore. The work that once excited you now feels like a heavy weight. And that ambition that used to fuel you, it's been replaced by a sense of dread. You're not just stuck in a job, you feel like you're stuck in a life that wasn't meant for you. I remember my own rock bottom. I was in a role where I felt totally and completely invisible. I poured my heart into proposals, only to have them brushed aside without a second thought. I saw a major promotion go to someone I had personally trained. The bitterness was just overwhelming. I remember the terrifying thought, maybe I've hit my ceiling. Maybe this is as good as it gets. It wasn't just about the money or the title. It was the fear that my potential was being wasted and I was becoming a bystander in my own career. The cycle of hard work followed by disappointment creates a dangerous story we tell ourselves. We start to believe that success is for other people and there's some secret they know that we don't. So we just work harder, burning ourselves out, hoping that sheer effort will finally be enough. But it really isn't. Because the problem isn't in the work. It's in the way we've been taught to think about the work. The real turning point for me and for so many successful people is a powerful realization. Unlocking your career isn't about adding more skills or working longer hours. It's about fundamentally changing your mindset. For years, we've been sold the idea that talent and intelligence are all that matter in the professional world. But what if that's only half the story? What if the real difference maker is a belief system that controls how you react to challenges, setbacks, and even success? This is the core idea from Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck, and it boils down to two opposing mindsets: a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Understanding the difference is the first step to breaking free from career stagnation for good. A fixed mindset is a belief that your intelligence and talents are static traits. You've got a certain amount, and that's it. In this view, every task becomes a test, and every challenge is a risk. Success is just validation of your innate talent, while failure feels like a final verdict on your worth. People with a fixed mindset often avoid challenges they might fail at. They're afraid of looking incompetent, and they see the success of others as a threat. Does any of that sound a little too familiar? But there's another way to live and work: a growth mindset. A growth mindset is a belief that your abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. It's the understanding that your potential is truly unknown and that it's impossible to predict what you can achieve with passion and practice. For someone with a growth mindset, challenges aren't threats, they are opportunities to get better. Failure isn't a brand, it's a lesson. They believe talent is just the starting point. This view creates a passion for learning and a resilience that is absolutely essential for achieving great things. This isn't just some feel good pop psychology, it's a proven driver of success. Studies show that people with a growth mindset are far more likely to embrace challenges, push through setbacks, and see failures as chances to improve. They are the ones who ultimately adapt, innovate, and lead. So, how do you actually start thinking this way? It's not like flipping a switch. It's about making conscious, deliberate shifts in how you see your professional life. Here are 3 powerful shifts you can start making today. Shift number 1. Let's talk about reframing failure as data. With a fixed mindset, a setback is crushing. A failed project or negative feedback feels like just a direct hit to your competence. The impulse is to hide it, blame someone else, or just give up. A growth mindset reframes failure completely. It's not a verdict, it's data. It's valuable information that shows you what didn't work. When you get critical feedback, your first question shouldn't be who's to blame, but what can I learn? This simple reframe changes the entire game. It separates your ego from the outcome and lets you look at the situation objectively. Think like a scientist running an experiment. If a hypothesis is wrong, the scientist doesn't throw their hands up and declare themselves a failure. They analyze the data, tweak the hypothesis, and run the experiment again. Adopting this approach makes you incredibly resilient. You start to see that every no, every mistake, every obstacle is just a piece of data on the path to mastery, not a wall blocking your way. Moving on to mindset shift number 2, which is how we can shift from a know-it-all to learn-it-all. This phrase comes straight from Satya Nadella, who led one of the most stunning corporate turnarounds in history at Microsoft. When he became CEO in 2014, the company was stuck in a rigid know-it-all culture, where people were terrified to admit that they didn't have the answer. Nadella's core strategy was to build a learn-it-all culture centered on curiosity and a relentless desire to learn. The results speak for themselves. This cultural shift, rooted in a growth mindset, is credited with helping Microsoft, one of the most valuable companies in the world. A know-it-all is defensive. Their value comes from already having the answers. They avoid questions they can't answer and surround themselves with people who agree with them. A learn-it-all, on the other hand, is driven by curiosity. They actively seek new information, ask great questions, and have no problem saying, "I don't know, but I'll find out." In a world where skills become outdated so quickly, adaptability is everything. A learn-it-all mindset ensures you're always evolving and always adding value. It makes you an engine of innovation, not a relic of the past. So moving on to mindset number 3, let's identify and rewrite our limiting beliefs. This is the deepest and the most powerful shift. Limiting beliefs are the subconscious stories we tell ourselves about what we are capable of. They sound like, "I'm just not a numbers person. I'm terrible at public speaking. Or I'm not a natural leader." These beliefs, often formed years ago, act like invisible fences, keeping us from exploring new territory where we could grow. The first step is self-awareness. Start listening to your inner monologue, especially when you're facing a challenge. When you hear yourself say, "I can't," ask yourself, what belief is behind that statement? Write it down, and acknowledge it without judging. The second step is to challenge it. Ask yourself, is this belief 100% true? Can I think of a time when it wasn't true? What evidence do I have that says otherwise? The final step is to rewrite it. A limiting belief isn't a fact, it's an opinion, and you can choose a better one. Instead of, I'm terrible at public speaking, you can rewrite it as, public speaking is a skill I'm currently developing. Instead of, I'm not a leader, try, I'm learning to be a more effective leader with every project. This isn't about lying to yourself, it's about giving yourself permission to grow. It's about recognizing your abilities, that they aren't fixed, but they are skills waiting to be built. So when you commit to these shifts, the change isn't just in your head, it radiates outward and completely transforms how people see you at work. When you see failure as data, you become fearless. You volunteer for those tough projects because you know that even if you stumble, you'll come out smarter. Leaders notice that kind of courage. When you become a learn-it-all, you become indispensable. You're the one connecting ideas, understanding new trends, and bringing fresh perspectives. You're not just a doer, you are an innovator. That's what gets people considered for leadership roles. And when you rewrite your limiting beliefs, you shatter your own glass ceiling. You start taking smart risks, speaking with real authority, and going for opportunities you once thought were for other people. Your confidence becomes real, built on a foundation of constant improvement, not a fragile need for approval. This is how you don't just get the next promotion, you build a career that's dynamic, fulfilling, and truly your own. This whole transformation starts with a single conscious choice. If any of this resonated with you, if you felt that spark of, hey, that's me, then I want you to do two things right now. First, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-world strategies to build the career you want. Second, and this is the important part, I want you to take a small step. In the comments below, share one limiting belief you're committing to challenge this week. It can be a big or a small one. By writing it down and putting it out there, you're taking the first step to rewriting it. Let's build a community of support right here, right now. For years, you might have thought that getting ahead was a game of external factors. The right boss, the right company, the right luck. But the truth is, the most powerful lever for change has always been inside of you. Professional transformation is an inside job. It's not about waiting for someone else to give you permission to succeed. It's about giving yourself permission to grow. By shedding the skin of a fixed mindset and embracing the power of a growth mindset, you stop being a passenger in your career and get into the pilot's seat. The career you really want isn't out there waiting for you. It's waiting to be built. And the foundation for everything you achieve starts right now with your mindset.